woods just out of our sight. From the dawn of man until modern times, perhaps Bigfoot has always been around, and our ancestors have always known. Bigfoot has so many different names. The legend of the large, hairy, bipedal creature is so prevalent in many different cultures around the world. So what explains this? Tales of Bigfoot could be the residue of ancestral stories dating back to a time when, of course, the stranger creatures roamed the earth with us. A giant ape called, now this is going to be good, Gigantopithecus, roamed Asia thousands of years ago and has gone extinct. Gigantopithecus. Is it possible ancient humans had contact with this beast, and perhaps their fears have trickled down to our over the generations? Or is Bigfoot a real creature of the world today? Could Gigantopithecus have survived extinction, followed by early humans throughout their migration out of Asia, across the Bering Land Bridge, and to the Americas? Whatever the explanation, Bigfoot seems to be everywhere. Okay, Sasquatch, one name. Hey, Michelle. We all know this one, of course. It's more representative of the Pacific Northwest. Really, it's pretty much interchangeable with Bigfoot. These days, the Sasquatch is spotted all over North America, from the thick forests of New England to the mountains of the Pacific Northwest and everywhere in between. The current Bigfoot craze took off in the 1950s, but Native Americans knew about the Sasquatch long before the Europeans arrived. Some tribes saw it as a forest spirit, others just another being that shared the land with them. But the point is, we know from their stories that Sasquatch isn't just some monster invented by modern culture to get TV ratings. There is a real creature here with a real history behind it. Okay, the next name is Yeti. First one was Sasquatch. This is Yeti. Before I get started then, I don't know, Michelle, what's up with the pic. It wouldn't change out of Planet B.O.B. I have no idea what's going on with that. So anyway, Yeti is the next one. It's stalking the regions around the Himalayas and is sometimes called the abominable snowman. Of course, we all know. Bumbles bounce, right? The Yeti is probably the next best known cousin of Bigfoot. Sightings of this creature have it pegged as a dead ringer for the North American Sasquatch. Could they be related? Typing, guys, sorry. Maybe the Bigfoot giganto theory may explain how both the Sasquatch and the Yeti came into existence in Asia long, long ago. It's possible they may trace their lineage back to a massive ape called, of course, Gigantopithecus black. It was a 10-foot tall monster, and some researchers believe it may have evolved in what we call today Bigfoot or the Yeti. Yeah, I believe they could be the kind of descendants of the giants that they have found, evolved into our Bigfoot or Yeti, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to explain the Bigfoot Gigantopithecus blackie, the Bigfoot giganto theory. I think we'll go into that after we talk about the different names. Yowie, okay? This is from the outback of Australia. By many accounts, this guy is yet another version of Bigfoot. In some stories, the Yowie, and I'll put that on there, Yowie, this is in Australia, guys. The Yowie is an ape-like bipedal creature. In some stories, a yowie is an ape-like. In others, it is more like a primitive human living in the outback. Aboriginal legend doesn't clear things up much, of course, but like Native Americans in North America, they do have a history of the creature dating back hundreds, even thousands of years. One problem with the yowie is that Australia has been isolated for thousands of years. This means whatever factor may have driven the Yeti or Sasquatch to evolve and migrate across Europe and North America can be responsible for the yowie. So where did this beast come from? And it raises interesting questions with some equally intriguing answers, and we'll get into that after we name some of them. Another one is the almas. Take a drink here. This is in Mongolia. The almas are known as hairy bipedal humanoids, of course. But unlike the neighboring Yeti, they are believed to be more human than ape, but they are just as elusive. This is not unlike many tales of wild men in Asia and Eastern Europe. And of course, many theories abound as to the origin of the almas, but some researchers believe they may be a living population of an earlier human ancestor that may have somehow survived extinction. Yeah, what a surprise. I think we've been kind of talking about that for a while now, as far as what could be out there. The story of the almas, it opens up an interesting discussion of the Bigfoot debate, as some researchers do believe Sasquatch is actually a species of primitive human, not an ape. So rather than an ancient Asian ape surviving extinction and populating the world, could it be an unclassified species of human exists out there undetected? Again, here comes the giant theory that they could be descendants of them. Yeah, I'm not sure about the ape theory. I think they just, I think maybe they evolved from the giants, possibly. I mean, we talked about this. Next name, skunk ape. We've all heard this name, of course. I have. I don't know about everybody, but I think most people have heard this before, the skunk ape. Okay. The Bigfoot of Florida and the southern United States. He's just as big as scary, but ups the bar with the added benefit of a horrific stench. It's claimed he gets his illustrious odor by hanging out in methane-packed bogs, but it could be anyone's guess. I mean, really, when's the last time he had a petty? Okay. With dense and dangerous swamps, parts of Florida and other southern swamps are ideal habitat for a large creature that doesn't want to be spotted. Bigfoot seems to have made his home here, and who can blame him? That would be actually one of the perfect spots, because I sure wouldn't be going out there looking for anything, because something will definitely find me, I'm sure. There has been some interesting evidence for the skunk ape over the years. Perhaps most notably, a decade or so ago, a woman claimed a large animal had been stealing apples from her porch. She set up a camera and snapped a few pictures, and the result was a Mayaka skunk ape photo. You could probably look that up, go Google it, and go for it. Excuse me. The Grassman, and guess what? That's from my state. The Ohio Grassman. What is Bigfoot named in your state? Does your state have a name for him? Okay, the Grassman. The Ohio Grassman is believed to be a Bigfoot existing in a specific niche and surviving in the rich farmland of Ohio. Ohio may not seem like the ideal Bigfoot habitat if you're fixated on the idea that the only place Sasquatch can exist in America is the Pacific Northwest or Florida. But in fact, the beast has been spotted in every state in the continental U.S. Ohio and western Pennsylvania in particular are excellent Bigfoot habitats with plenty of farms, water sources, game, and easy access to the Appalachian mountain range. Sightings and stories of the Grassman go back hundreds of years and continue to this day. So there you go. Wendigo, and I'll put that in there. From the woods of Canada, the Wendigo is a big, hairy man-like creature from Native American legend, but legends don't always think of it as an animal. Wendigo can be a creature that transforms from a human and has very bad intentions. Some interesting hypotheses concerning Bigfoot have been born from the Wendigo legends. On one hand, perhaps the wild stories of the supernatural Wendigo stem from sightings of a real creature like Bigfoot, and maybe Native Americans have expanded on the abilities of the creature, making it into some kind of spirit being. On the other hand, perhaps the legend of Wendigo is proof that Bigfoot really only exists in the spirit realm and not in the real world at all. Yes, it does. Orang. Thank you, Michelle. Very much appreciated. Okay. Yeah, I could not get that picture to come up for the life of me. Anyway, this is the orang pendek. Pendek. I'll say pendek. Okay, that is the name of it. Orang pendek from Sumatra. This one's only a few feet tall, though, so not really similar to Bigfoot in stature. But orang pendek is definitely an example, of a bizarre Bigfoot-like critter from an unexpected place, and there'd be more similarities than we'd think. If orang pendek is real, it raises a question of Bigfoot's origins. Could it be a kind of pygmy version of Bigfoot, or perhaps a related species that went down from some different evolutionary path? More intriguing is the idea that orang pendek could actually be some kind of human ancestor, perhaps a relic population of the tiny hobbit humans found on the island of Flores. Whatever it is, Sumatran natives are seeing something strange in the jungles, and it appears to be a bipedal ape. Interesting. I still say somewhere along the lines here, giants were supposed to have inhabited most of the earth. So, how about biblical times? I mean, that's why the famous flood was started, was to get rid of the giants. So, could descendants of them somehow have survived? And I'm beginning to think that it's a real good possibility. This is a good one, and if I mess up the pronunciation, I am sorry. Mapingari. We'll try that. Mapingauri. That's it. Okay. The Mapingari is one of the most debated of Bigfoot's cousins from around the world. From the jungles of South America, many accounts of the Mapingari describe it as something similar to a Sasquatch. It would make sense, as any Bigfoot population in North America could definitely go down to South America. However, other versions of the Mapingari tale paint it as a far stranger creature with massive claws, backward-facing feet, a repugnant stench, and a mouth on its stomach. Not so sure about those descriptions, but some researchers who have dared to attempt to wade through the folklore say this is an odd but plausible description of a giant ground sloth. Okay, if that works for him, go for it. The giant ground sloth is believed to have gone extinct long ago, but is it possible there still is a population deep in the jungle? Absolutely. That's one thing, they could hide anywhere out there. And It does sound crazy, doesn't it? The backward face